Hey sluts, I'm Aubrey, an Aquarius sun, Scorpio moon, Taurus rising.
And I'm Danny, a Sag sun, Leo moon, Libra rising.
And we're your Astro Sluts. Coming kind of towards the end of our little series
We're
here.
like really rounding it out.
Which is crazy because it has been so many weeks of us together. This is episode number 10.
Yeah.
We're talking about Capricorns today. We've been doing an episode for each sign, deep dive vibes. So if this is your first episode, welcome. And if you're feeling curious about another sign, go listen to that too. Capricorn season every year goes from December 22nd to January 19th. It can change a little bit just based on, how the cookie crumbles each year. So like if your birthday is like January 19th, you might be a Capricorn, but like calculate your full birth chart because you honestly could be an Aquarius and not even know it. There's definitely stories of people like thinking they were one zodiac sign their whole lives, and then they look at their birth chart and then they were like,
just
right on that cusp,
cut off or whatever.
This symbol is the sea goat, which I feel like the sea part is often left out of that.
Yeah, I know. I feel like it's like one of those things, like, I don't know. I feel like because people say like it's often the goat. We know it's the sea goat, but I do feel like it's often the goat. You think of the goat climbing up the mountain is Capricorn. And I don't know if it's just like, is it like just maybe the mythology of it? It's easier to just be like, no, goat.
The goat, yeah.
But
we don't know about a sea goat.
Right.
What even is that? Like,
right.
That's not something in our vernacular. Even whereas like a centaur is like around, like we've seen a centaur. Like you've seen some TV show or movie with a centaur in it, but like I haven't seen a sea goat.
I know. Yeah. So that's like the body of a goat with a fish tail, basically, if you're trying to picture that in your head.
Which goats are very like hardworking, stubborn. It is very much like Capricorn's very like you went both ways uphill kind of energy. Like we are working, we are like climbing to the top. I also think it's funny, like goats have like a weird vibe about them, right? Like goats are at the petting zoo, but you're also kind of like, you might bite my fingers off.
Yeah, they're like a little mischievous, I would say.
Yeah, that's a good word.
Like they're like a functional animal, but they're also like, I feel like, I mean, people are doing goat yoga. Like they're also like silly and cute, but they are also
they're putting
like,
them in pajamas
they're
and shit.
working.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. But so then like half goat, so Capricorn is an earth sign, which we can talk more about in a second, but the sea goat is able to navigate both the sea and the land. So there is this like extra like just like a mythical nature to Capricorn that I think people like don't always see them as. Like I think usually they just get pegged into the like very serious and hardworking, but there is like an element of mythology, of like of magic to them, and also like an emotional nature, or like I guess it's kind of like they're able to, I don't know, like not like emotions don't get in the way of their success kind of thing.
I wonder if it's kind of giving like since they're so close to the end of the zodiac kind of thing, it's like if you think of it as like a story, kind of like all the things you've gathered, and like to get to like the 10th sign, like it does know how to navigate water, it can navigate the earth, it can kind of like get through like whatever. And I mean, like Capricorns are like very hardworking, very ambitious, so maybe it is like it's like a collecting wisdom almost thing. Yeah,
you guys will notice like as we get to these like last few signs, like this last quarter of the zodiac, like things get really abstract out here. Like these last few signs, like I think starting with Sagittarius as kind of like a gateway, like Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces are so like really hard to like pin down in a way that like Aries and Taurus, we're like, nope, this is an Aries, this is a Taurus. And like we get a little bit more complexity as we've like aged through all of the signs. I also think just like being goated is like greatest of all time is like so aligned with Capricorn, which honestly maybe that's I'm like that's why like modern like a modern context of Capricorn symbolism.
Yeah, absolutely. They are an earth sign, which we mentioned, but there is like a big element, we'll talk about it more as we get into like rulership, but like structure, tradition. Like I would say they're a very like a realist, I guess you could say, like just truly like grounded in like what is the truth, what is happening. Like there is like a lot of like, I feel like commonly you'd be like Capricorns can feel very cold, like lack of emotion, but I think it is just because they're so like grounded in like the just like the facts, that it's like that's how they see things. It's like not
relevant information to bring to the table. They are a cardinal sign. They are the like go-getters, the big thinkers, the thought starters, the like self-starters, like in a similar way to Aries, Cancer, and Libra, but within those cardinal signs, they are like the most grounded of those, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. I mean, like we say like girl boss so much in relation to Capricorn, because it is like, it's not just like your friend with a crazy idea. It's like your friend who's going to like start a really good business kind of thing, who's going to like make a life, you know?
The planetary ruler of Capricorn is Saturn, which is, I think, where we get like so much insight. Saturn rules and like responsibilities. It's very like authoritative, like structural, very into tradition, like very like by the book. It also is like transit wise, like teaches you tough lessons. That's like we hear people talking about their Saturn returns all the time. Like Saturn can be very like harsh and like feel very difficult. It's known as like the like as a malefic planet, which it's like here to teach you something, but it can often like feel bad.
Yeah, totally.
And this, I think, is also where Capricorn gets its very much like no nonsense, like a realist, but I think to other people can feel like cynicism.
Yeah.
But to Capricorn, they're like, no, it's just literally how the world is.
Yeah. Literally,
like,
just
wake
what's
up.
happening.
Yeah. Whereas like a Pisces or something is going to be like, the world is like, well, I guess that's not even, let's say like Libra is going to be like, no, like we can all like be happy. Like we can all get along. And Capricorn's like, like literally look at history. When have we ever gotten along?
Totally.
Like it's not about to start now.
Yeah. Capricorn rules the 10th house. So that is all about like your public roles, public life, and career. So like big long-term path in terms of like what you're doing in the world, as opposed to like maybe your day-to-day job that you currently have. It's a little more like big picture than like the 6th house.
Later on, when we have our Capricorn caller, let's ask them about reputation and like how much they're concerned about like what people think about them in that way. Capricorn body part wise rules the bones, joints, and skeletal system. It's giving practical, it's giving that like
structure.
Literal structure of a human body. That like solid like center foundation. And I think it's also fascinating that those are like human remains. Our Capricorn, like Capricorn is building something that is going to last.
Yeah, totally.
Do you have anything about the mythology?
I looked, there's like honestly like just a lot of goats in mythology, but like one was the goat. There was a goat that nursed baby Zeus like after Zeus's father died, and I did think that was interesting. Maybe more because I have a Capricorn mom.
Yeah.
But I thought that was kind of interesting. was like a caretaker perhaps role in mythology.
Yeah. They're taking care of business. Yeah, very like, I think very much like prepared energy as well. Yeah. I have a Capricorn stellium in my 9th house. So very, and I also have a lot of Aquarius placement. So I am like very Saturnian, I always say. The structure.
Totally. I was just going to say, like, I think it's an interesting call, like in tarot, like the Capricorn is the devil. So I think that's interesting when we just think about Capricorn as like structured, by the book, traditional, like it's maybe like a little more naughty, a little more mischievous, like as we said with the goat. Like I think it's like the devil in tarot can be like a lot of things. I think there's like an element of playful to it depending on how you read it, but there's also like kind of like this, just like the sins of life, like the overconsumption, the over whatever, that I think devil can also represent in tarot. But I do just think that's interesting. Like a little, there's like power to it. There's like, there's some pleasure to it.
Well, I'm excited. In a few minutes, we'll go through like some celebrity examples, and like some of them are really silly.
Yeah, it's super interesting. Same this week. I was like, I didn't want to actually do this many celebrities again. And I wrote down, there's just so many people.
And a wide range of like how they're coming across. But back to just vibes. I think it's really funny that Capricorn is in between Sagittarius and Aquarius, which is maybe connected to kind of what we were just saying. Like, because I think it is a little bit like if you like being in between like us. I'm like literally Capricorn's right here. I feel like my Capricorn tendencies are sometimes like when everybody's like being silly, and I'm like, well, someone has to be serious around here. Oh my God, I guess I'm the only one working around here. Like I feel like it feels very Capricorn.
Yeah.
But also like maybe we do rub off on them a little bit too. So. Like you can't spend that much time in between a Sag and an Aquarius and not crack a few jokes.
Have a little fun.
Yeah.
No, literally. I do think also like I kind of think we touched on this at the beginning, but like I think we think like just because of like our world is like when we think like job, I feel like it's very like corporate coded, like climbing the corporate ladder, which I do think can be very Capricorn, but I do think there's like the flip of that, which is like building things in your own way, building your own business. There's a little maybe like entrepreneurialness to it. Or just like building your life that is very Capricorn. Like when I think of Capricorn people like that are close to me, I feel like they do have like more interesting relationships with jobs than like being someone who's just like climbing a corporate ladder. So I think it's just like truly person to person, as is life. Like, are you someone that's gonna like put that energy into like becoming partner at a law firm? Are you gonna put that energy into like, you know, building a business or a lifestyle or whatever that like supports and helps you grow kind of thing? So yeah, just a shout for the perhaps the non-corporate Capricorn baddies listening.
No, totally. I do think that Capricorns are a little bit more like well suited to capitalism though than like a lot of other signs.
That's why I almost feel like they can like make it work outside of those bounds.
Agreed. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Something else is Capricorns definitely like have that tendency to be very hard on themselves. Back to like the kind of like Saturn energy, like Capricorns can be very punishing. Like I think Capricorn placements are like they kind of need like repercussions almost like in like boundaries or just like life in general. It's very like cause and effect, like you did this and therefore like this happens to you, like in like a law and order kind of way almost. But I think also like in a healthy way, like more of a life hack for Capricorns, like if you're having trouble setting a boundary or something in some way, like for yourself, putting like consequences onto something, like being like, I'm trying to even think of something that you could, like, let's say you want to exercise every day and you're like just not doing it as a Capricorn. You could be like, okay, well, if I don't exercise that day, then I also don't get to watch TV that night. Like some sort of like incentive to get you to like
totally
do those things.
Yeah.
But obviously that can go extreme, which I'll get to in our fictional character segment later on. I'm feeling so like pluggy today.
I love that. Hook 'em in.
Exactly.
Yeah, I also think like it's very like, I guess like when you mentioned reputation, like it is very legacy.
Yeah.
And I think that does come with just getting to the end of the zodiac. It's like a little more like forward thinking or like beyond yourself. But it's like, how do you show up? How are you do you want to be remembered? What are you building? What are you building that's like gonna last beyond you? I think are all very like Capricorn themes.
Well, Capricorn placements do like just tend to get better with age as well. Like a Capricorn rising's probably just gonna get like hotter and hotter as they get older. Like Capricorn like takes some time to cook. It's like why your Saturn return isn't until like you're almost 30. Like they need some time to like develop and like
into themselves.
Yeah, and become something that is going to leave a legacy as opposed to like being a child star. Like
totally.
They are gonna like collect like experiences and skills and whatever and like build long term.
Yeah.
I do think, I mean, something that I think is just like an everyone thing, but I would say like I feel like my Capricorn placements feel it especially as like that feeling of like running out of time. It's like seeing other people kind of like pop off and whatever, and it's like, well, that should be happening for me. I'm working so hard. Why isn't that happening? But it's like, it's not our time yet, Capricorns.
Yeah, no, totally. I was
cooking.
told I was going to peak 35 to 50. So
that's beautiful. It's so funny because last night, sometimes I really am just like so Capricorn. Last night I was giving myself a voice memo pep talk. And I was like, maybe we're never peaking.
It's so true.
I was like, no,
what
I'm going to keep.
Is the peak?
Literally, we were just saying uphill the whole time. No, I'm peak is when I die. You know?
Yeah.
Very funny. Very Capricorn. You have any other vibes, observations?
I think just like last thing is like, I feel like people say it's like the father of the zodiac.
Yeah.
Very like daddy energy. Just like protector, big provider energy.
Yeah.
Grounded. Yeah.
Yeah. The last thing I wrote is so serious.
So serious. Totally.
But then again, also not, as we will see. Should we talk about some celebrities?
Yeah.
The first one I would like to bring up is the most beautiful, talented woman in the entire world, Cynthia Erivo.
Yes.
I feel like I probably have talked about her on the podcast before, but you guys, I love Cynthia Erivo so much. I think, when does Wicked, or
November 22nd.
Oh my God. Okay. So it'll
you
still
guys,
be in
I'm
a couple
so
weeks.
Excited.
When this comes out. We are so excited.
We're literally so excited. If anyone knows anyone that could get us some free tickets or get us to a screening,
they should literally be paying us to promote this.
Literally.
Movie.
We're so excited.
I want the Cynthia Erivo Barbie so badly.
We need to get the dolls.
Yeah. I'm on the email list.
Oh, good. Okay.
I don't know when they come out, but when they do, I will be the first.
Absolutely.
But yeah, truly greatest of all time. So, okay, Cynthia Erivo, if you don't know her, she's going to be Elphaba.
Yeah.
In Wicked. So you will, if you don't know her now, you're about to know her, but I have been like the biggest fan of her for like 8 years or something. Like she's incredible. She was in The Color Purple on Broadway, which is where I saw her do just the most stunning performance I've ever seen. She was Harriet Tubman, and Harriet was just also fantastic.
But I feel like she's also and I feel like she's also the person, like, didn't she like run a marathon and then perform on Broadway that night?
Yes.
Like she's
fit.
A worker.
Yes. So hardworking.
Like,
yeah.
So talented, but is working.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Has like a ton of like drama training too, which is funny. I can't remember the name of the acting school, but she went to like a massive acting school in the UK. Yeah, is working so hard, and it shows.
Kate Middleton, she's like, I do just think she's like perfect, like royal material. She's very regal. She's obviously beautiful, but she's quite tight-lipped. You will never, like, we're just never gonna know what's happening. Obviously, I wish her well with her health and all those things, and I feel bad that she had to share that because she clearly didn't want to, but like, it is just that, like, I don't know, I've heard things, you know, on my demois where, you know, her husband is out, you know, having affairs all around town, and someone like Meghan Markle tried to tell her, and she was like, yeah, dumb bitch, basically, like, I'm gonna be the fucking queen, like, he can sleep with whoever he wants, I'm gonna be the queen of England. Like, that's why they're not cool anymore. But like, it's just this, like, it's this closed off, but like, she seems a bit icy, a bit cold, but also has this like perfect public persona.
Yeah, so 10th
and
house.
Like the literal, like, the monarchy, like, talk about legacy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And like, for her children, like, doing that for her kids, and like, it's wild.
Yeah,
but yeah,
that's a great example.
Thank you.
Okay, next category. This is the silly category.
Okay, beautiful.
Ice Spice. This is the most criminal to put.
Lin-Manuel Miranda. I knew, I couldn't even see it. I had that. I knew you were gonna put that.
Yeah, Ice Spice, Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yeah.
And I'm also tagging Renee Rapp in here as low-key, like, a combo of the two.
Totally. Yeah.
But Ice Spice is obviously so silly on purpose. But also, like, massive, obviously.
Yeah. And I feel like has been kind of off-putting lately. When we're recording this, I feel like people are a little off-put by her right now.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay, I've been hearing that.
Well, she started dating this other person's boyfriend and just like posted on Instagram like, yeah, bitch, I stole your man, kind of thing. And it was just kind of like, it's just like a little off-putting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I would say I liked her before. I think she's quite hilarious. I don't dislike her. I do just think it's maybe just a little, it is just like a little Capricorn-y, like just a little like not caring about other people's feelings.
Yeah. Well, I think also on the like Capricorns are good at capitalism. Like, I think her like attachment to, I don't mean that in like a personal way, but like her attachment to Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
And like the two of them doing that whole thing when everyone was like, what the fuck is this? But like, I can't I'm like so in a bubble that like I can't even imagine like how many people now know Ice Spice because of that Taylor Swift song.
No, totally.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I have to imagine that really made her a household name in a lot of new houses.
No, that's fair. Yeah, like, I mean, for sure we talked about, I think, how that was such a move for Taylor, but it wasn't not a move for Ice Spice,
exactly.
You know?
Yeah. Exactly. Which is kind of like, get the bag, you know?
Yeah. Taylor Swift wanted me to be in a song. I'd be in her song.
Yeah. How are you going to say no? Another one is Timothée Chalamet, which we do have an entire episode about. So if you're a big Timmy fan, go listen to that one.
Absolutely. I have Zayn from One Direction. Obviously, Zayn Girls Rise.
And Louis.
Yeah, I put
is also
just under that. Also Louis.
Yeah. Say more though.
I just like think he's so hot. I think you could call him the daddy of One Direction. He just like he was always my favorite. I think he's always the hottest.
Yeah.
I think he does literally seem like quite a good father from what I've heard. I will always ride for Zayn. And I just love him. He is like a bit private though too. Like I wouldn't say he's like he's not like, he's obviously a public figure, but he's not super like in the press. But was Louis the oldest of One Direction? I kind of think so. He was. I kind of think he always like gave older too, which I just thought was interesting.
Fascinating. Next category is Old White Lady, Dolly Parton and Betty White. Beloved Old White Lady, and rightfully so.
Yeah, I was trying to find a clip that like I wanted to talk about for Dolly Parton, but it's from the Miley Cyrus interview that I talked about last episode. But she was just talking about her relationship with Dolly, and I did think it was interesting. So I would just listen to that interview if you guys are interested. But she just kind of said, like, Dolly isn't afraid of tough conversations. Like, she always would tell her, like, put on your hair, put on your glam, and, like, go get out there kind of thing. And that's what she's been doing for, is it rude to say 80 years, 70 years? Quite a long time.
But yeah, she's working.
9 to 5.
Yes, I mean, wait, yeah. No, but exactly that. Capricorns are not beating this the corporate
allegations.
The corporate allegations. You want to go next?
Sure. Blue Ivy.
Okay.
Beyonce's daughter. A product of two really powerful people, and I think that's quite interesting. You take a Virgo, you take a wildly successful Sagittarius, you put them together, you have a Capricorn daughter who's touring around the world at like 8 years old. How old is she? Dancing on stage every night, literally getting people brought to tears, basically. She's already got like more credits on her resume than most of us could dream. And yeah, that's,
I'm imagining the future in which our pop culture is reigned by Blue Ivy and Northwest, right?
Oh, I can't wait. So cool. I love them.
The monarchies are alive and well.
Talk about legacy. Yeah.
That is nuts. Next is Skrillex. I don't have a ton to say, but
great.
But hardworking, I would imagine. No one becomes massive by accident.
No,
you know? Totally. Especially for like such a long time. Michelle Obama.
My mom and her share a birthday.
That's beautiful. Yeah, love her.
Yeah, I don't know too much about her, but like personal life, I should say. Obviously, I know a good amount about Michelle Obama, I guess.
Yeah.
Living in this country.
Yes.
But I do know that Barack Obama, like I think they met when he was 35, and like that's why the peak. I have the same something in my chart as Mr.
Barack.
Obama, and so there's something with his life where he. They met after 35. They got married after 35, had kids. He became president. Obviously, they're very successful people. So I would assume she's pretty close in age. And I do just think that gives like that Capricorn energy of like
maturing.
I'm sure she was pretty cool and successful up until then. But like, look at what they've done as like true adults.
Yeah. Greta Thunberg. That's her name.
That sounds right, I think.
The little activist girl, which is like kind of the opposite. It's like not, I mean, I can only imagine she's going to do incredible things as an adult, but it's like funny, like coming out, actually have
it's like a child adult. Like that's not like a child. Like she's speaking at like, you know what I mean?
I know, but yeah, it's like that coming out of the womb with like the hard working with a mission. Yeah.
Zooey Deschanel, I think, is an interesting one. I have a character, so I don't want to like later that I want to talk about because I think there's similar energy. But I think I'm a little bit I've always liked Zooey Deschanel. I mean, obviously we like grew up. I said this in our Scorpio interview. I'm like, I feel like we grew up in twee era. After I said twee, I'm like, we were so twee era. But so love her. But I think there's like, I mean, this is very much from New Girl. I don't know her personally, but she has like a little bit of like a guy's girl energy.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that I'll come back to, but a flag.
Yes. And also I'm like, I don't know who your character is, but yes, same vibe in like 500 Days of Summer.
Oh, totally.
Is that she's like a girly bop, but she low-key is like one of the guys.
Totally.
Then my last little category is just like the coolest girl ever, Hayley Williams and FKA Twigs, that are just like so solid, so good at what they do. And it's like they don't ever feel like in competition with anyone. They're like doing their own fucking thing.
No, totally. I did think it was interesting too. I didn't really care to name them, but there were a lot of like news anchors, like TV, like judges, like a Ryan Seacrest type, like personalities that I thought was interesting. Like those kind of like celebrities, but I'm a professional.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I'm Meredith Vieira, but I'm like a celebrity, but I'm going to deliver you the news.
And it's like, it was like an authoritative role.
I know the things and I'm going to teach you kind of vibe.
Up next, we're going to go through some fictional TV movie characters that we think are Capricorns.
I'll start. So my first one is Kendall Roy from Succession. He's like famously the eldest boy. Like when they're trying to decide like who the company is going to, he's like, I'm the eldest boy. He's not actually the eldest boy. He has an older brother, which makes it funnier. But I think it's just like that. Like he kind of just thinks things are going to fall into his lap, and like he has done a lot of the work, but like I don't know, he just has this like he's so like I don't know, just like maybe like nepo baby coded, and like he's like he works and he works hard, but like he just has this like power kind of hungry like air to him, but he's also like really cringy, which I think is kind of funny. He has this like really insane like bad boy streak in like one of the seasons. It's like I think he like maybe gets divorced and then he starts acting crazy. Like he has like he tries to be like a rapper, and like there's just something so like the kind of like uptight figure trying to let loose and like doesn't know how to do it but has $1 billion to do it, that feels like kind of like Capricorn man to me. It's just like it's very hard to watch. And he's quite a funny character.
Okay, I think similarly, I have Earn from Atlanta. Also has a little bit of that, like, kind of just expects things.
Yeah.
But is also, like, in a way that, like, I wouldn't necessarily consider Capricorn. He's just, like, so serious all the time. Like, not really someone that can just, like, let loose, have a nice time, like turn it off, like kind of like that, like on edge. And you're like, dude, just relax. And I think is also very much like everything is an uphill battle. Is always just like working so hard, gets so stubborn about like the weirdest stuff where you're like, dude, you just don't have to be doing this right now.
Yeah.
And if you just didn't do this, everything would be so much easier. The girls love to work.
Yeah, absolutely. This is kind of like just like I feel like every romantic comedy that we grew up with where like a woman likes her job is like so archetypal Capricorn. But there's this movie that I always think of. It's like it's a very like comfort movie, like Set It Up. Do you know that movie?
No.
It's a good just like easy rom-com, but it's two assistants set up their like workaholic bosses.
Who are the actors that are the bosses?
I literally cannot think of either of their names. Hold on. Glenn Powell is one of the assistants, which is funny. I never actually like put that together. Lucy Liu and Taye Diggs.
Okay. Oh, okay.
And it's Zoe Dutch.
I actually maybe have seen this.
Yeah. No, it's one of those movies where you're like, I've never seen that. And I put it on. I'm like, I've seen this 6 times, you know? But it's just like a good, like easy watch. But I just feel like they like both of the bosses, but I'm like more thinking of like Lucy Liu is just that like, she's like sleeping at her desk, like power hungry, like whatever. But like really, she just like she also just really longs for love.
Yeah.
But I just think that movie is like so funny. It's so like so stereotypical, but like in a fun way. You know?
Love.
Yeah.
Okay, super different vibe. Aunt Lydia from Handmaid's Tale.
I've never seen it.
Oh, okay. Did you read the books?
Mm-mm.
I don't think I did either. Okay, Aunt Lydia is like the head. Well, I don't know if she's I don't remember. She's technically the head, but at least in the story we're getting told she's like teaches the handmaids how to be handmaids, like before they like go off and have to be handmaids for like the rich people. And she's just like very punishing, very just like abusive and like very just like strict and is enforcing the rules. But I think also an extreme case of like, but she also is like a woman with power in Gilead, which is like kind of good. It's like giving Girlboss, dystopian Girlboss in a way, like, and not an ethical one, but like she certainly made a name for herself and a career in like kind of, I don't want to say I don't know, I'm sure that's like in kind of best case scenario for her, like if you can, if the options are to be walked all over or to walk on, a Capricorn would rather be the one walking on.
Yeah, totally. This one is pretty like, I was trying to bring a different element of Capricorns here, so I think people might disagree, and that's fine with me. But this is kind of what I was talking about earlier in the episode with the boys girl energy. Mindy Lahiri from the Mindy Project.
I don't really know that Mindy Project. Okay. Say more.
So she is like, she's a doctor, of course. She's a gynecologist. She's at a practice with like all male doctors, which I do just think, of course, inherently is like the world we live in. But I do think there's like you have to have a bit of drive to be a doctor. But even like she's always looking for love. But like, so I think a lot of people would say like, because I did, I do my research. People were saying like, no, she's a Leo. No, she's a Cancer. And I'm thinking maybe there's like a Leo placement, probably a Leo rising is what I would say. But like, even in every attempt at romance, it's like, there's an element of trying to win. And there's an element of like, she's like a big social climber, like very unapologetically, that I think is like very interesting. Like she's dating this DJ because she thinks it'll get her into the club, but not because she's like, swept off her feet by this guy. And that's kind of how all her relationships are. And like, it's always like a competitive spirit. She's always looking to win. She's always trying to like win over the guy doctors. But she just has like very masculine energy, I would say. And yeah, she's super blunt. Also, she's like very, I think that show's very funny. It's like another talk about comfort viewing. It's a good comfort show. But like, she's obsessed with famous people. It's just like, it's giving. There's
I like it. You've convinced me.
There. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, and my last character is Arya Stark from Game of Thrones, which I'm realizing is also very like, she's very Hermione Granger coded, which is like, I think the two of them are both like the childhood version of like whatever we would say, like a boy's girl or whatever. Totally. Like they're like, I mean, Arya is like giving, for lack of a better phrase, like tomboy-esque in a way that Hermione doesn't, but they are they're both like really smart and like in like kind of in male fields.
Yeah.
But Arya is just like from the jump as a child, just like really naturally better at everything that like all the boys are supposed to be good at, whether it's like, I think there's like a scene where they're doing like archery or like sword fighting. Like she's just like so much better, and like her brothers are like, what the heck, like you're not supposed to be better than me. And she's just like really smart, like can like stand up to adults and like that like just like really intellectual, but like kind of comes off as like a little bit bratty. Very smart, very serious, but she also does have like these like softer moments with like Jon Snow, if you watch the show, or like she's very like ethical very much like she then goes on and she like trains as an assassin with like these special people that like are just like really, really skilled assassins, but then she like does it differently. Like she decides she's only gonna like assassinate evil people. Like she won't assassinate just anyone. So it feels very that like Saturnian, like no, there are rules here. Like goes to like this
boundaried
kill.
Yeah,
exactly.
So we're gonna turn it over to our listeners with some stories from them about dating Capricorns. We have one person, I said, did you date a Capricorn? They said, yeah, but I'm like 99% sure he hated me. As a Cancer, I have had my heart broken by 2 Capricorns. My mom said, ask your dad, with a bunch of laughing emojis. Someone said, yes, LOL, they broke up with me on my birthday because I got lockjaw while doing activities.
What?
That checks out. Scary, but mostly very erotic. Okay, And someone else said, dated. It was awful. Oh no. And we had a Capricorn, a friend said, not too much on my girl. I think I would say we're going very even. I
think so.
I wouldn't say easy, but we're giving neutral vibes.
We're being realistic as the Capricorns would want us to do.
Exactly. And then from the Google Forms, we've got some tales here. I went on a cute first date with a Cap. It was cute until he asked over dinner if I would consider myself a sexual person out of the blue. After that, all the questions were just trying to get me to go home with him. It didn't work, but we did go on a few more dates, and he did anything and everything I asked, even though I never slept with him. Interesting. I do feel like, I don't know if it's like, maybe it's like a little power thing. We can talk about it more when we talk about personal things, but, yeah, I feel like Capricorns are like, it's like it's the devil tarot to me. They're they're a little more, I think, sexual and like forthcoming than you would maybe think.
Yeah.
Another person said, LOL, love to start with that. Dated a Cap sun, Leo rising, Aquarius moon. We were friends and only lasted 2 months. They're kind of a serial dater and date a lot of friends, obviously me included. They gave me a lot of cute little gifts and were as gentle with me as they could be, but it was definitely not meant to be. We are besties now and often joke about our 2-month relationship. I love being gay in a small town.
Absolutely.
With the cowboy hat emoji there for reference. Yeah. Then they also said dated a different Capricorn sun, Virgo rising, Leo moon, and straight up she broke my heart and fucked me up a little bit. She also had dated the Capricorn mentioned above.
Oh, I love lesbians.
She was the first girl I ever dated, and it was very much a situationship summer fling. It ended when she told me her ex spent the night in her room, but she still wanted to see me. I was so naive and fresh out of the closet, I believed her. She never hit me up again, and I learned from our mutual friends that she was actively sleeping with her ex when we were seeing each other. Salute emoji. She actually just got engaged to the man she started dating after me and her ex, and it's been 3 years. I truly wish her the best.
That's beautiful.
Good for you. Yeah. Interesting.
Should we get into our experiences?
Yeah. Have you dated a Capricorn?
Well, I tried to.
Yeah.
I went on one date with a Capricorn.
Oh, yeah. I forgot. I always forget they're a Capricorn.
I know, me too. I actually forgot until you were reading these. Because before I was like, I can't think of a Capricorn that I dated. Yeah. And I was like, it's because it was just one date. My Venus is in Capricorn. Like, I am just like very... I like really am attracted to success, I would say, and like that power, and like I just like a Capricorn, of course. I don't know, and I don't know. I really wanted to go on more than one date with this Capricorn. They ghosted me. We had literally plans.
Yeah, that was such a weird situation.
So weird.
Like, for a backstory, because I do think it was a weird situation and like kind of maybe a little Capricorn-y, I guess.
Totally.
Someone had told me that this person like they were like, is your friend single, basically, because my friend has a crush on them. And I was like, oh my God, yes. They're like just out of a relationship. Like, your friend is so hot. Like, my friend is so hot. Like, this'll be good.
And it just like really made sense.
It,
like we're really similar, which I guess I didn't even know. They keep going.
Yeah, like I just like it was just giving like, this is actually such a good setup.
Yeah, no, yes.
Like the person who came to me obviously thought it was a good idea. I obviously thought it was a good idea because I knew Aubrey would be into it too.
Yeah. And like, that's hard to say.
Like, that's very rare. I feel like for 4 people to all be like,
yeah,
we're on to something. So like, I don't know what happened. I think we just like tried to like, finally all like connected, met up or whatever. Yeah. Like, not on purpose, just like we're able to like see them in the wild kind of vibe.
Yeah.
And then like you guys,
well, I guess you introduced me to them.
Oh yeah.
And so we had kind of like had an in-person interaction then, and then we just were like flirty over Instagram on the same kind page. Of thing. And then we went out. I don't even remember like who initiated that, but yeah, we went on a great date.
Yeah, like I feel like you really like had a lot of like relatable like experiences. Like,
yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and then we had plans to go on another date, and then I was like, "Hey, still on for tonight or something?" And then they just never answered.
But again, it was like someone we like would see
all the time. It was so weird. But then like I feel like they were like Instagram official, for lack of a better phrase, with someone else like very shortly after that.
I think they must have just like coincidentally also started seeing that other person or something right around then.
Yeah. And they're still dating, I think. So
they are, yeah.
Good for them. It's been many years since that happened. But I'm like, why are you guys I mean, I guess we don't know if they're monogamous. Yeah. But I remember at the time being like, what? And so what? I think maybe we could still go on a date. But none of my business.
Yeah.
I guess.
Interesting.
Super interesting.
Yeah, I famously had like, if you listen to this podcast, like since the beginning, I have like an insane Capricorn ex-boyfriend. I was trying to think of like actually like helpful things to say instead of just like talking about the insanity like again. I would say like one specific call out that I like feel like I was probably too embarrassed to say until now is that like one time he literally said, "You called me daddy, so now I can control you," when I was trying to break up with him. Like, that's actually not how that works at all.
Oh my God.
Guys are literally crazy.
People don't talk enough about how like common the experience of trying to break up with someone is, and they like respond with no.
I know. And like, what do you mean no? Like, mind you, this person was like literally cheating on me. Like, he went on a vacation with another girl, and like, you still won't let me break up with you?
You don't want to be with me.
You literally don't want to be with me. You're mean. Like, just so weird. But
control.
That
it's
obviously
the control.
It's the control that really sticks out to me. Also, that's just so purely delusional. But whatever. And then this is the person who like also said like when I was also probably again trying to break up with him, we broke up like multiple times. And then he would just like move back or do something crazy and we'd get back together, whatever. So I was quite often breaking up with him. He was like, "I'm going to send you an invoice for every Instagram picture I ever took of you," because he obviously he really, I think, thought he was like my creative director, which I think again goes with control, which like really, really bothered me. Yeah. Like he would like, I would post something like, I would post like a picture of like a pretty tree on my story and be like, this is completely off brand. This is not even a good photo. Like, people don't follow you because you take pictures of trees. Like, take this down. Like, it was so mean. And like, it really obviously like messed me up. Like, I feel like I still have like embarrassment about like not on my phone, but like I have such a hard time like picking up a camera to take a photo just because he would like be so mean about like me not being a photographer kind of thing, because he was obviously a photographer, you guys, obviously but that's so real though, like so controlling, super like really like I think like really thrived off the toxicity of himself in our relationship.
Well, that's kind of back to like the sea goat of like that relationship between like water and earth, like the emotional and the like working power success.
Yeah, like I don't know. I mean, I know,
but it's like using it to as like a like a manipulative.
Yeah, and this is so not a unique experience, but there's something interesting to me about like just treating someone so poorly, but like when I would break up with him, you know what I mean? Like that is like, I mean, that's not how my brain works. That's crazy to me. Like he was so like, he cheated on me all the time with this one girl. Like he would sleep at her house and I had his location. Like, you know what I mean? Or like they went to New York together. Like that's all crazy. And then I break up with him. I block him on everything. He's calling me from his mom's phone. I'm on my mom's phone. You need to unblock. I can't do this. You can't do what? You can't keep cheating on me. You can't keep, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. So interesting.
People have some whack ass attachment styles out here.
Crazy. Yeah. But yeah, I would say like, I don't know. I like a lot of Capricorns. Yeah. But yeah, there was just like, there's something dark though.
There really is.
There's a little bit of darkness to them. Yeah. Well, should we call up our Capricorn?
Yeah, I think we should.
All right. Let's hear it from them.
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello?
Hi, our Capricorn caller.
This is my mother. We've got my mother, Kelly, on the phone today, our famous Capricorn. We are so happy to have you.
Oh, thank you. It's so nice of you to ask me.
We had my mom on the Taurus episode, if you hadn't heard that. So
I actually did hear that. That was fun.
Did you listen to it?
I did actually this morning because I just had no idea what was going to happen. I unfortunately, being the Capricorn rule follower, when I was told not to listen, I adhered to that and have not listened to your podcast.
That's a great point.
Isn't that a great point? No, I think that's so funny. But yeah, I think you're just very respectful. I think you respect my boundaries and I respect yours, you know?
Yes. Yeah, I respect if I respect rules. So if someone sets a boundary or a rule, I will follow it.
That's so nice.
Just the way I am.
I know. Well, welcome to your segment. So you're a Capricorn, obviously.
Yeah.
Do you know the rest of your placements?
My moon, is it moon?
Yeah.
Is that the same thing? Is Leo.
Mm-hmm.
And my rising is Pisces.
Yeah, good job.
I reviewed my co-star chart.
Oh yeah, good.
This morning I got all about that.
How much would you say you know about astrology?
I would say I know pretty much maybe like 15%.
Yeah. Love that. Love a percentage. You do
I know.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. Oh, I was just gonna say I know like me being a Capricorn, that's basically like what I follow. Like but I don't really follow much of anything else.
Yeah. I think something very impressive that you do though, that I will shout out, is she does her Chani meditation, like the Chani meditation every single day.
That's wonderful.
And so I think even if you aren't like consciously aware of why that's like astrologically chosen for you every day, I feel like that's like, very aligned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's exactly, like, I am very ritualistic in terms of, like, if I start something, I continue doing that. Like, if it's daily or monthly, or like, I grocery shop every Wednesday.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I work out every morning, and then that's when I would do like Chani. I work out, and then when I'm cooling down, I will do the 10-minute meditation. So I mean, that's just kind of how my mind works. But I think that's very telltale sign of a Capricorn.
Yeah, absolutely.
Structure.
Yeah.
Structure is key.
Yeah.
Right?
What else do you know about being a Capricorn? Like structure, rituals are big ones. What else?
Determined,
Mm-hmm.
very responsible, uh, very authoritative.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably. I'm very like, success. I would say is very, and I don't mean that like in a career wise. Just like
Yeah.
success is important to a Capricorn, and
Yeah.
whether it's being supportive for you to succeed, or to dad to like succeed in his job and give him all the like stuff that he needs so he can focus on work. That is like a very, I think, a strong key to like a Capricorn life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think we talked about that kind of in the episode too. We were saying like Capricorn is so career oriented, but like it doesn't have to be like you yourself it's climbing the corporate ladder. It could be through like entrepreneurship or just like structuring your life in a very like for success. But like I think that's
Right.
also a good point to it too. It could be like building that with other people or family or like in a supportive way. I think that is like a good point.
Yeah. And that's where I'm happiest, I feel like, is being the support role.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's just like my calling.
That's so nice.
Yeah. That's where I'm happy. It's my happy place.
That's so nice. I would say you're very good at that.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Just like my my unpaid assistant. My unpaid
Right. Well,
intern.
like being your momager is when you were younger.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just like that was always like a supportive role. I'm here
Yeah.
for you.
Thank you. You so are.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You too, Aubrey.
I appreciate that.
I'm trying to think. Okay, so I wrote some things down too.
Okay.
You are incredibly like clean. We haven't
Yeah.
said that. Like you're just like so organized and like orderly. I think that obviously goes around along with like ritual and structure in your day. But
Yeah.
like you're very like literal with it too.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that also
Totally.
goes to like setting people up for success. Like
Yeah.
they're removing those barriers of like
Right.
being
Yeah.
stressed that it's dirty.
Right. No, that's really true. And that's just how I can't function if there's like disorder around me. And
Yeah.
I know Danny's like laughing because like we have this all the time. Like I always am like giving her like pushing her to clean and to do things, like to organize herself. Doesn't always work because but it's like I always have to remember that's my thing. It's not her thing. But I'm still trying. Still trying.
Yeah. And like I am like not I would say I'm not necessarily organized, but I'm not like a dirty person, I would like to
No.
say. Because we talked about this with Sagittarius. Like I'm not like organized, but I would still say I'm way more clean than most people.
Oh my
And
God,
like
yeah.
two Kelly's standards,
Yes.
it is like she's living with the pig in the pigsty, you know?
Yeah.
It's just like on a different level. And we love you for it.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Cleanliness is next to godliness, as they say. That's
That
how
is
I
just-
grew up.
That is so true. It's
Mhm.
just the truth.
Mhm.
No, that's funny. I feel like too when I was younger, like I'm just like I don't make my bed. Like I just like you cannot tell me that making my bed is going to make me a better person. Like I just like for
Yeah.
me, I don't know why it's such a thing that I'm just like it does not bother me. I don't care about it. And like she was like, you know, there's studies that people who make their bed are 70% more successful people. And like always, it was always a thing.
It still is.
I know.
No,
It
I've given
still
up.
is. Yeah, you just
I've
had to
given
give
up on it. But I would say you're organized in the sense of your day is very organized. Like you're like dad, like you write lists for everything. And it's
Yeah.
funny because you would think I would be that way, but I'm not like a list person.
Because I think you know it,
Mhm.
where
Yeah,
I
it's just in
don't.
my head.
Yeah. Like I have to write it down or I won't remember.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
Like you just like
totally.
know it and do it. Like I
Yeah.
think it's like, I don't know, probably both dad and I have just learned that like, okay, in order to do something, it has to be on paper and in a
Mhm.
Yeah.
schedule. You know what I mean? Whereas I think
Yeah,
that
no,
probably just
totally.
comes to you.
Yeah. It's very interesting.
It is interesting. Um, and then something else that I think is just like funny. I think you're fine if I say this, but
Mhm.
like, like Aubrey always says, like Capricorn is very punishing.
Oh,
And like,
yeah.
you're like not like, I never got like punished. Like, I never was grounded or whatever. But like, when you were mad at me, like the 2 times, you know, it was just like so scary. Like you didn't even have to do anything
Yeah.
for
I
me
know.
to be like, I will never do that again.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
have like the ability to shut down
Yeah.
in like a second. And that is very scary because I won't say anything, but I
Yeah.
will just shut down. And I think it's probably and it probably wasn't the best thing to do to a child.
Yeah.
But it's just like, my disdain for what you did or whatever it is like, you know it.
Yeah. Like literally, like you wouldn't say anything. It was just like,
Yep.
I'm out of here. And like she would just like leave the room or whatever, you know?
Mhm.
That book that you have, that astrology book that I think I gave it to
The
you. It's like
pink one.
pink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aubrey and I always just
I
call it the pink book, but
Yes.
yes.
Does Aubrey
Familiar.
have that book too?
Yes.
Yeah, it's such a great book, but there is like a line in there, and I actually I remembered to grab it because when I bought the book or was looking at it the first time, and there was about the Capricorn parent, and it says a Capricorn parent may imply or outright state, if you are good, you will get everything. If you are bad, you will get nothing. And
Yeah.
I read this and I threw the book across the room because it freaked me out so much that is like my mantra is
Yeah.
like a parent. It's just like so weird that was stated so clearly to me. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
It's
totally.
so so that is like literally, I mean, Danny was always a good kid, but that's probably why.
Yeah.
She knew she wouldn't get anything if she misbehaved.
Yeah.
Right. And I wasn't trying to not get anything.
Yeah.
Have you met me?
You were very wise as a child.
Locked in on the abundance.
Right.
Right.
For our listeners, the pink book is called The Astrology of You and Me. It's like a pink book with like blue astrological designs.
Yeah.
And it is quite good.
It's a good book. It's very detailed, but
Mhm.
it's definitely, there are some very, at least with my Capricorn, it was very to the point.
Yeah, it goes through each zodiac sign for like the Capricorn parent, the Capricorn child, the Capricorn coworker or boss, or like first date. Like it goes through like all these different like types of relationship, which I don't know of any other books that are like organized like that.
Yeah, I don't either. I think it is really interesting. Like even like the coworker, like obviously like so much astrology is so like romantic. Like it is cool to like focus on different kinds of relationships.
Yeah, how to ask this type of boss for a raise or whatever. It's very like life hacky.
Definitely.
I do also think like I think when you think about like success, personally, I think you're like peak mom. Like growing up, you were like community mom. You know, you were like class mom. Everyone wanted to come to my house, mom. Like everyone still is like, I would kill for a Kelly grilled cheese, like as mid-20-year-olds, you know? Like I do think you found a lot of success in your role.
Yes, I thank you. I feel like, I love being a mom, and I love your friends, and they're just all so cute. You guys were all so cute. I remember giving Aubrey, I don't know if you even know this, I remember giving you your last grilled cheese before you had to go gluten-free. Yeah.
I remember that day.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
But that's beautiful.
I think you were like, it was like the day before you were going to the doctor or something, and your mom like, just let her have it because it's the last like regular grilled cheese you'll get.
Yeah. Well, I'm really glad that it was yours.
Right?
Top tier.
I really remember having nachos at your house. It was like a core memory for me. You do a killer.
Yeah, I used to make those because I knew, like it was an easy gluten-free thing that we can make.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tried to accommodate everybody.
No, and you're so good at it.
Yeah,
like
you really are.
I'm so grateful that like you have always like not made me feel weird about being an allergy kid. Like whenever I go to like anyone else's like house, I'd be like, why?
Like, here's an apple slice.
Right. I'm like, well, you just like get it and you just know stuff. And like, I don't know, my family all knows stuff. So then it's like, I'm like, wait, everyone didn't learn about allergies?
Right.
Why don't you know what's in stuff?
Literally. No, I think too, I mean, I've always been like so into like, health food and healthy eating and of course being a vegetarian. So it was just a natural for me to like bring that into our world when you were around, because it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah, totally. You also are really big on cross-contamination.
Yeah,
oh yes, we don't do that. Cross-contamination is a no-no.
Yeah.
Right. We don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You are queen of like everything has its own bowl.
Yeah.
Everything what?
Has its own bowl. Like every every accessory is like getting placed into a new nice looking bowl. Like we're not serving things out of the container it came in.
Yes, it's key.
So do you want to talk about who you're married to? Their sign?
I am married to a Taurus. So we are both earth signs. And even though I am an earth sign and I like to be grounded, but he really, sometimes when I get a little flighty, he can really bring me back to ground, to the earth. So he's really good.
Yeah, Dad is he's very grounded. I really think like the reason I pass as like an organized person, as I have my shit together kind of person, is because I was raised by two earth signs. Really kept me in check.
Last night I met a Virgo whose parents were an Aquarius and a Sagittarius.
Oh wow.
And that really cracked me up.
That's
the
really
opposite.
Yeah, literally. No, that makes like a lot of sense for like the parents to be like the earthy sign, like the grounded. But yeah, like imagine like where your parents
I know.
and you're like, okay, I'm gonna go make a list in the other room. Like,
Good luck, you guys.
I don't know what you're doing over here, but
I know, it really cracked me up. I didn't like get too much more info on that situation,
yeah,
but I was like, I'm gonna have fun imagining that.
that is funny. And I'm like, you were just a couple of minutes late for this call because my dad was finishing up his afternoon nap and making his afternoon coffee,
That's
which
for
is
sure.
so Taurus.
Yeah.
He is peak. I mean, we talk about dad a lot because he is so stereotypical Taurus. I feel like he's such a good case study for it.
I know, and he doesn't even know it.
He doesn't even know. He has no clue, but he's so good at it.
Yeah, definitely. It's really funny.
It is really funny. Um, do you know what are all your sisters' signs? Now that we're talking about families.
Well, Kathy, my oldest sister is Sagittarius. Danny and her share the same birthday. Then Capricorn, fellow Capricorn, which we got along so well.
Yeah.
And then a Pisces, and then a Gemini.
Oh wow, yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So you have all the elements. Got all the
elements.
elements, yeah.
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
There's a lot of fire and chaos in our world.
Yeah.
Always fighting against each other.
Yeah. That's funny. So, yeah, your closest sister in age. Yeah, I never really thought about her being a Gemini, but that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and the funny thing is too, like growing up, my best friend is also shares the same birthday as my Gemini sister.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's
Isn't that funny? And then yeah, my other like good friends are like Pisces, and I think I have like an Aquarius, like good friend. But there's a lot of Pisces in my life.
Yeah. Well, you have that Pisces rising. And I do think you have like, I think you do come off like way softer and like friendlier. Like, I don't think you have like I think a lot of Capricorn can feel very like a little bit cold and like closed off, where I think like you have like very bubbly, like welcoming energy. Like I think you just like could talk to anyone kind of vibe. So I think that's definitely that more like Pisces energy.
Yeah.
Which makes sense why you would connect with those people too.
Yeah. So interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. And I always like that we both have Leo moons. I think that's so cool.
Yeah.
I always say
that is so cool.
It is cool.
Do you think that's like our what is that? Is that like your personality?
Like your emotions?
Your emotion, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, but like moon is like mother. So it is like it's like a cool placement to share, but I do think it's like I feel like there was like a meme for a while where it was like parrot, like when they don't say I love you, but they like say like here's a grilled cheese or whatever. Like it's like making things for people, you know. Like I feel like you always have like you feed everyone and like make food for people. Like obviously we were literally just talking about that, and like crafting, like we've always made crafts together and did art projects together, and like that was very much like I feel like just like a whole part of literally our life, like even currently is like doing.
We still do that.
Yeah, we literally like sit down and do a craft all the time. It's so nice.
It is nice.
Yeah,
it's a nice way to connect.
I agree. Do you have anything else you want to say about being a Capricorn?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's one of the, I think it's a really good trait or to be a Capricorn and be a parent.
Oh, that's nice.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I think that's
totally.
like a really good,
Oh, yeah.
I guess I'm lucky in that sense, I guess, that I
Yeah.
was born when I was.
Something we were talking about in the episode was like
Mhm.
legacy. Like Capricorn is very like building something that's bigger than you kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
Like whether that's like a business that lasts or like a family. I feel like being a parent, like you said, is like very much like building something beyond you, like a family or
Mhm.
kids kind of thing that
Right.
like, so that is nice. We were literally talking about that. Like it's bigger than like your day job kind
Mhm.
of thing. It's
Yeah.
like your career or your public role, like in a larger sense.
Yeah, and we were
Right.
saying how Capricorn like rules your bones as like
Mm-hmm.
a body part, and it's like literally like human remains. It's like things that really like will
That
not
stay.
deteriorate.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
How do you feel about like your reputation or like being like what else? Another
Like
like
perceived, like a in the public
yeah,
kind of
like
thing.
what you're known for, how people see you. What's your like relationship to that?
Yeah, it's funny. It's to me, it is very important to me how I am perceived by others, but in the sense that I want them to see me as someone that is like you like this whole thing, like caring and loving and bringing people love and happiness and joy. And I do that either through food or like crafting or just, being there for someone and just saying, giving them just a little bit of, a vote of confidence when they're feeling down or just whatever it is. But that is something that is important to me. Probably, I guess, even in a superficial way, like the way I dress and the way I look and the way, like, that's all like
Mhm.
very important and always has been.
Yeah.
Um, which also, I guess, was probably growing up, it probably was like maybe a negative thing for me because it just, like, I think your mom said this too. Like, I am a pretty reserved person, like, for the most part. But so, like, when you're in high school and you're not talking to people, they're like, oh, you're such a snob. But it really, that wasn't it, but it was just like, that is just how I was perceived when I was younger because
Mhm.
Yeah.
I would dress like nice every day and my hair and my makeup and all, so it's like, but then I wouldn't talk to anybody. So,
Yeah.
like, who does
Yeah.
she think she is?
Yeah.
I think it is still important for me to like still have that, like I like an image of myself where I think, it is important to like just look the best I can when I'm out,
Yeah.
but at the same time be a nice person and try and be a nice person to everyone.
Mm-hmm. I think you're very good at it.
Thank you. I try.
I
It's a
know.
lot of work.
Well,
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Make me sound good.
You do sound good. You sound so nice and lovely because you are.
Aw, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Talk to you soon.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks,
bye.
guys.
Well, wasn't
Wow.
that wonderful?
That was wonderful.
Shout out to Capricorns. Love you guys.
We love you. Keeping us grounded, keeping us real.
Stay tuned for we're talking about Aquarius next week.
Yay!
Love Aquariuses. And yeah, check out all of the other signs in this series that we've been doing. Thanks for listening. Follow us on socials, etc. Like, comment, subscribe, rate us.
Yay. Bye, sluts.
Bye.